Guys, so in this video we will think about the accomplishments of Mesopotamia. We will think about how these accomplishments are linked to the geography and the religion of the grapes. Mesopotamia was known as the cradle of civilization. This is mostly because of two things that happened in Mesopotamia. They had the first city, and there was the invention of writing. Just these two things themselves are absolutely incredible accomplishments for Mesopotamia. But there's more. Mesopotamia also invented the wheel, the farming of animals. They also developed farming tools, weapons, the chariot, wine, beer, and sailboats. Many of the things that we still use today and depend upon. But it went beyond just inventions. There were also cultural achievements in Mesopotamia, and there was a very varied art scene in Mesopotamia, with theatre, paintings, drawings, and pottery. They were also very good at solving problems. They invented tools and developed special knowledge to improve their lives. They were the first people to invent the things we use daily. Perhaps they were able to invent these things because their religion kept the gods very happy. Perhaps they are able to invent these things because of their geography and the very advantageous place that they lived. Maybe it's a combination of geography and the religion. It's believed that the Sumerians had invented the plough sometime around 6000 BC. That's more than 8,000 years ago. And the wheel around 3500 BC. These inventions helped the Sumerians a great deal in their everyday lives. It's starting to look like the Sumerians and the Mesopotamians were truly blessed. The plough was a very important tool that helped farmers. The first plough were often simple digging sticks with handles. They could be pushed by people and then later on by animals. Ploughs broke up the hard soil, which made planting a lot easier. This helped Mesopotamia to have a surplus of food. Without the plough and irrigation, they probably couldn't have had a surplus of food. The Sumerians used the wheel in many ways, such as on wagons to transport goods. They also used the wheel to develop new vehicles like the chariot. The chariot was important for defending the area of Mesopotamia. It must have been quite a sight to see a wheeled vehicle rushing along at high speed with glorious soldiers on the back being pulled by horses. Another special kind of wheel was the potter's wheel. This enabled the Sumerians to make better quality pottery faster. Pots were important storage containers for surplus food. They also enabled the Sumerians to trade. But they also developed a culture in decorated pots. Possibly one of the most amazing things was their arithmetic. By using arithmetic, they were able to keep records of crops and trade goods, keep a record of who owed money, keep a record of how much tax was collected. Farmers and tradespeople needed to have arithmetic to be able to plan for the future. Even more amazing, we owe our calendars to the Mesopotamians. Their number system was not based around 10, but around 60. So it's incredible to think that today we have 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. Circles contain 360 degrees. Eventually, the measurement of time helped the creation of calendars. There's architecture, arches, columns, ramps, and pyramids. They were all used in the design of the ziggurat, and they were a permanent part of the Mesopotamian culture. These structures also symbolise mountains, which were the source of the water. The mountains were far, far away, but they were represented in Mesopotamia in their buildings. We've seen the buildings were also important in the religion. The walls of Babylon were once considered one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world. They were actually 2 massive walls that surrounded the entire city. Archaeologists estimate that each wall was about 30 kilometres long, 8 metres wide and 10 metres tall. And do remember, they didn't have very much stone or wood, so they invented bricks and used these bricks to make the walls. Absolutely incredible achievements. By 3000 BC, the Sumerians had invented writing to meet their business and trade needs. As trade expanded, merchants needed records of these exchanges. They also wanted to label goods, so they marked the outside of the containers with symbols that indicated the product that they contained. It made trade and exchange a lot easier. The Sumerians also used their natural resources, such as wool and flax, to make clothing. They used flax for linen. This fabric was constructed to suit the different seasons. For the summer, the cloth was thin, but a coarser, thicker fabric was used in winter to keep them warm. Linen was soft, but also stable and long-lasting. The more it was worn and washed, the softer and stronger it got. The linen could be dyed, many different colours. So perhaps the Mesopotamians were the first ones to introduce fashion. Rich Mesopotamian women would have very elaborate headdresses. Rich Mesopotamian men and women would also have elaborate, beautiful and colourful clothing. Hey guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. The video could have been a lot longer because there are many, many more accomplishments of the Mesopotamians. We can see how these accomplishments were linked together with the geography and the religion. So we're starting to see the grapes are all interlinked with each other.